Have you ever wondered how Nigeria came to be the cultural and geopolitical powerhouse that it is today? Our journey begins in the 13th century, a time when Nigeria was home to several powerful ancient empires. The northeastern region was dominated by the Kanem-Bornu Empire, an influential kingdom known for its sophisticated governance structures. With a well-organized bureaucracy, this empire was able to manage extensive trade networks that stretched from the Sahara Desert to the Gulf of Guinea. Not to be outdone, the southern region of Nigeria was the seat of the Benin Empire. This civilization was renowned for its formidable military, but it was their cultural achievements that truly set them apart. The people of Benin were master craftsmakers, producing intricate works of art in bronze and ivory that still captivate audiences to this day. Both of these empires were dynamic entities, constantly evolving and adapting to the challenges of their time. They developed systems of governance that were responsive to the needs of their people, balancing the power between the rulers and the ruled. They fostered thriving economies, with bustling markets that were hubs of trade and commerce. And let's not forget about the cultural achievements. The people of these empires were skilled artisans, musicians, and storytellers, creating a vibrant tapestry of cultural expression that continues to inform and inspire modern Nigerian art and culture. But these empires were not isolated. They were part of a larger network of African civilizations engaging in trade and diplomacy with their neighbors. They were active participants in the global community, contributing their ideas, innovations, and creativity to the collective human experience. These empires, with their sophisticated governance structures, extensive trade networks, and rich cultural heritage, played a crucial role in shaping the history of Nigeria. They laid the groundwork for the diverse society that would emerge in the centuries to follow, setting the stage for the complex and multifaceted nation that is Nigeria today. These empires laid the foundation for the diverse and intricate tapestry that is modern-day Nigeria. A shift in global commerce in the 15th century brought about a dark chapter in Nigeria's history. The Atlantic slave trade, initiated by European powers, marked a devastating period for the region. Portugal, in particular, sought to establish trade relationships with various Nigerian kingdoms along the coastline. However, these transactions were far from ordinary. The goods exchanged were not mere commodities, but human lives. Millions of Nigerians were forcibly extracted from their homeland, torn from their families, and transported across the Atlantic to the Americas. They were put to work in plantations, mines, and households, their freedom and dignity stripped away. This era of forced migration resulted in a dramatic shift in the demographic and cultural landscape of both Nigeria and the Americas. The Atlantic slave trade, a sorrowful epoch in Nigeria's past, created a ripple effect that transcended generations. This era left a lasting scar on the psyche of the nation. The 19th century ushered in a new era of foreign domination. As the global power dynamics shifted, the scent of a new opportunity wafted over the African continent. The scramble for Africa, as it was known, saw European nations jostle for control over African territories. Nigeria, a land teeming with rich natural resources and a diverse populace, became a prime target for British colonial ambitions. The British, not content with merely establishing trade relationships, sought to exert their influence and control over the region. They employed a combination of military conquest, negotiation of treaties, and indirect rule through traditional leaders to gradually establish their dominion over the various regions within present-day Nigeria. The British colonial strategy was not without its intricacies. They understood the power of local governance structures and utilized them to their advantage. By co-opting traditional leaders into their administrative framework, the British managed to rule indirectly, using local institutions and practices to enforce their policies and maintain social control. In the midst of this colonial chess game, one move proved to be particularly significant. In 1914, Lord Frederick Lugard, the then Governor-General of Nigeria, took the decision to amalgamate the northern and southern protectorates. This act of unification, while primarily driven by economic considerations, had profound political implications. It brought together diverse ethnic and religious groups under a single administrative entity, an entity that would eventually come to be known as Nigeria. This amalgamation, however, was not a smooth process. It was met with resistance and criticism from different quarters. The diverse groups, each with their distinct cultural identities and historical experiences, were now compelled to coexist within the confines of a single political entity. But despite the tensions and conflicts, this amalgamation laid the groundwork for the eventual unity of Nigeria as a single nation. It planted the seed for the idea of a shared Nigerian identity, an identity that would continue to evolve, be contested, and be redefined in the years to come. This pivotal event set the stage for the creation of modern Nigeria. As the winds of change blew across Africa in the mid-20th century, Nigeria was not left behind. The seeds of nationalism were sprouting. Leaders and activists, stirred by the spirit of self-governance, began to challenge the shackles of British colonial rule. A new chapter was about to be written in Nigeria's history. Prominent figures emerged, their voices resonating with the call for freedom. Herbert Macaulay, the grandson of a freed slave, often referred to as the father of Nigerian nationalism. Nnamdi Azikiwe, a staunch advocate of Pan-Africanism who would later become the first president of Nigeria, and Obafemi Awolowo, a key player in Nigeria's quest for independence, known for his significant contributions to education and welfare. These leaders were instrumental in mobilizing the masses, their actions culminating in a momentous event. The dawn of a new era was on the horizon. On October 1st, 1960, Nigeria was finally free. A nation reborn, ready to chart its own course. Freedom came, but it was not without its challenges. With the dawn of independence in 1960, Nigeria was soon swept into a whirlwind of internal divisions. Ethnic, religious, and regional tensions surged, threatening the cohesion of the newly formed nation. The First Republic, born out of the hopes of independence, faced political instability and conflicts that would define its brief existence. The echoes of military boots soon filled the corridors of power, as a series of military coups in the 1960s and 70s disrupted the political landscape. Major figures such as General Yakubu Gowon, Murtala Muhammad, and Olusegun Obasanjo ascended to power, their reigns shaping the nation's destiny for decades to come. Amid the political turmoil, Nigeria had its fate intertwined with the discovery of oil in the Niger Delta in the late 1950s. This black gold transformed the nation's economy, fueling unprecedented economic growth. The 70s saw an oil boom that brought immense wealth to the country. Nigeria, once primarily an agrarian society, was now a major player in the global oil market. But this prosperity was a double-edged sword. The newfound wealth was not without its pitfalls. Mismanagement and corruption seeped into the fabric of society, leading to economic crises and widening the gap of social inequality. The oil that promised prosperity also fueled corruption and bred disparity. As the nation navigated through the labyrinth of political instability and economic challenges, it found itself at a crossroads. The wealth from the oil boom had the potential to propel the country towards unprecedented growth and development. However, the challenges of corruption and social inequality threatened to undermine these prospects. The post-independence era was a period of paradoxes for Nigeria. It was a time of newfound freedom and political instability, of economic growth and social inequality, of hope and disillusionment. The nation was in a state of flux, grappling with both immense wealth and profound challenges. In 1999, a new chapter began for Nigeria. The nation returned to civilian rule after a series of military dictatorships that shaped the political landscape. Olusegun Obasanjo, a former military leader himself, was elected as president, marking the dawn of democratic governance. Obasanjo's term in office was fraught with challenges, chief among them being widespread corruption, insecurity, and ethno-religious conflicts. Despite these hurdles, his administration marked the beginning of a period of continuous democratic rule that has lasted for over 2 decades, a significant achievement in Nigeria's history. Following Obasanjo, leaders like Umaru Yar'Adua and Goodluck Jonathan took up the mantle of leadership, each grappling with their unique set of challenges. Yar'Adua's presidency was marked by a health crisis that led to his untimely death. while Jonathan's tenure witnessed the rise of a new threat, the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast. Boko Haram, an Islamist extremist group, has waged a brutal campaign of violence and terror, causing immense suffering and displacement. The fight against this group has tested the resilience of Nigeria's security forces and strained the country's resources. And now, under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, Nigeria continues to face daunting challenges. Beyond the ongoing battle with Boko Haram, the country is confronting separatist movements in the southeast, economic instability, and enduring issues of corruption. Yet despite these obstacles, Nigeria continues to press on. Efforts are being made to address corruption, promote inclusive governance, and foster peaceful coexistence among the country's diverse ethnic and religious groups. As Nigeria navigates its complex challenges, it continues to strive for stability, development, and unity. The journey is far from easy, and the road ahead is fraught with uncertainty. But the spirit of resilience that has defined Nigeria's history remains undimmed, fueling the nation's pursuit of a more prosperous and harmonious future.